Okay, first of all, what do you guys think is the importance of having a good app store listing? And do you know what I'm talking about? We're talking about when somebody goes and finds your app on the store,
Mhm.
what are they reading about your app? Okay. So what do you think? Why do you think having a good store listing is important?
Well, for me, I'm thinking like the logo, like we was talking about, that kind of stands out is the first thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then I like to read the reviews, what people saying about it before I download it. If it
Mm-hmm.
got really bad reviews, I won't download. But then I think the first thing is the words that you search into, because otherwise you don't
Yep.
know what's going to pop up.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Go ahead, Miranda.
I was gonna say like keywords for us. I feel like to emphasize community because
Mm-hmm.
that's very commonly mistaken for our app. So to get that point across is important.
Exactly. Exactly. And it is extremely critical, imperative that the first 255 characters are dynamic. That is basically the first three lines. And that is what most people read. And either they will continue on, or they will download it, or they will move on. Those are really your three things. They're going to either download it immediately based on those words, they're going to move on if they don't even like what those words are capturing, and they'll continue to read more if they need to know more about your app. So, in those first few lines, you want to capture exactly what your app does. So, kind of springing off of this, Anna, what would you say in your app store listing would be the first point or two that you really want to capture in those first couple of words?
Something about deals,
Okay.
like deals in the town or deals in the area, and that it's free, probably.
Okay. The different things. Community, definitely want to have community. And further down, you can also put in yours that it's not strictly for Brookfield and Wisconsin, because some of those deals are good anywhere. Most of them are local, right? But some are not. Okay, Janae, what do you want to capture in yours?
Um, Probably like the big words like education, um, planning, even entrepreneurship. Um, I don't know. I think I have a hard time trying to describe it because I feel like it's so much to say about it. But I'm like keywords. I think I would probably go with like jobs, entrepreneurship, planning,
Mm-hmm.
um, even resources.
I have
So
a question about your app. Is it specific to straight out of high school, or say someone, quits their job and is just trying to look for
Mm-hmm.
other career paths or jobs in the area? Could they use it then?
yep. So Nancy had me do the story brand. And I realized that my app really targets the population between 16 and like 45, 50 maybe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the population I'm thinking, because like Nancy said, when she was changing careers and stuff like that, and even my sister, like she changed careers so many times. Well, no, not so many times. She just didn't know what she wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. And I'm like, even this could have been something that you just play with when you lay in the bed at night with looking at your phone.
Yeah. I don't know what words would be like short enough and compact enough to use this in the first three sentences, but maybe something along the lines of, if you're straight out of high school, straight out of college, changing career, just so people know that it's available to those demographics.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep. Changing careers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want you to write this down. I just thought of it, and somewhere in there, it won't be in the first few sentences, but somewhere in there, You want to ask the question, are you asking a 5-year-old what they want to be when they grow up because you're looking for ideas? It's kind of a joke, but it's basically putting it back on the person saying, I don't know what I want to do either. And especially your timing of the app is perfect because people are getting back into the workforce right now. And a lot of people's jobs aren't there. And then there's a whole bunch of jobs that are there that nobody seems to be doing it. We came back from Pewaukee last night, and I can't tell you how many we're hiring signs did we find.
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy how many we were finding. So you actually, and this goes for everybody, your first line, actually starting with a question. Think of the story brand that we talked about. You know, you've got your hero, your guide, and your villain. That is what your app store description should follow. So your hero obviously is your customer. The villain is, what are they trying to avoid? Janae, in your case, it's they want a career. So they're tired of being unemployed. They're tired of not knowing what to do. They're very frustrated. Ladies, as far as the Chamber app, people, you know, the villain is spending too much money. The villain is also not connecting with community, not purchasing local. Not that everything in the Chamber, there are people in the Chamber who are franchises and stuff, and that's okay, right? Because the way I look at it is supporting franchises is wonderful because they employ local people, right? So you're still giving back to local when you do that. But to ask that question, and then of course the guide is your app. You are the guide, the one that is going to help the hero slay the villain. So to capture that, asking a brief question is going to capture and get people to relate to your app immediately. The Chamber could start with, are you tired of leaving money on the table? Or are you tired of spending too much locally? Or better yet, are you tired of forgetting your coupon at home? Because it's right there in the app. I don't know how frustrated I get with that.
Are you graduating from high school? Are you changing careers? Are you tired of working dead-end jobs? Like that type, like, would that be too much on the first line?
Nope, but maybe one of them. Or better yet, to even say, are you unsure, or are you something along the lines of, are you frustrated not knowing how you want, what kind of a job fits you, or what? Okay, who's got another idea on this? I'm trying to ask are you frustrated not knowing your career path or how to earn a living? Are you frustrated not knowing how to earn a living? Because we don't want to necessarily just say make money.
I always like the word purpose, but everybody doesn't probably feel that word. But
no, but get that word in this, because I think that's the real key to what you're talking about. Because I know a plethora of people, we all do. We all right now, if we wanted to, we could name 5 people that are doing their job just because they have to. That they're not happy in their job. They're doing it strictly to feed their family. They punch in right at 8 o'clock and they punch out at 5, and they've checked out halfway in between. They're just there doing it because they know they have to, right? We all know that. So those people are not living their purpose. So I think you're okay to get that word in there. I just don't know that I do it in the first 255.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, it got to be in there somewhere, but I'm not sure if I want to put it like way further down, or because you said you don't see the first, when you download, you don't read the whole thing. You said they read the first 2-3 sentences.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then from there, they will continue on. Think about your own habits. When you're going to download an app, I do agree with the reviews, which that needs to be something that people need to do, is to get reviews for your apps. Your app will start to show up much more in the stores by getting reviews. In fact, ladies, it may be time to start to do a review campaign, just to go from there. And Janae, we're going to start doing review campaign, but we have to actually get your app published first. Yeah. So, but you are right on that. But yes, basically when you open up your phone, think about your own habits. When you open up the phone and you search for an app, what shows up? The pictures, having a brief video. And I think we have your video on Google, I believe. Apple, we're having a challenge. Getting videos on Apple is a challenge. So just so you know, they got this thing when they're published over on YouTube. I wish those guys would just get along. Anyway, so basically you see the nice images, right? So people get an idea what your app looks like. And then you have the first description. There's a one-liner that's actually about 80 characters, I believe it is. And then you have the description. So that one-liner has to really grab the attention, right? And that attention doesn't have, because it's so limited, you don't need to have it say the name of the app, right? You don't need it to say, Quick Trip brings savings in your pocket or something like that. We already know it's Quick Trip because Quick Trip's up here, right? So you don't have to start with what's next is an app to help you figure out what you want in life. It needs to be figure out what you want in life with a step-by-step app or something along those lines. Save locally with coupons in your pocket, right? Because or deals in your pocket. I don't know so much we want to call them coupons per se, but local deals or something, not even local as such, but you want to put something like that in there. And then the next few lines. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I like the word step by step, and then stop making excuses about success or something along those lines. When you said the first line, like I really think like that's an attention grabber for ours.
The excuses stop now.
Excuses stop now.
Almost mothering to a point. Do you ladies agree? Kind of same. Think about it. If you would have found this app, what would have motivated you to download it? Okay, that's what you have to say is what's going to motivate. And you want to stay away from buzzwords. You want to stay away from like false promises. Because that's not going to work. You want to make sure that the experience is exactly what people are going to actually have when they open it up.
Okay.
And you want to speak like you're talking to a 5-year-old. I'm not a 5-year-old, a 5th grader.
Right.
A 5th grader. Not a 5th grader who's 5. You're beyond talking to them. But, and in your case, you want to use words like balance. You don't necessarily want to say college isn't for everyone, because when you say those words, people who don't go to college are now feeling that they're beneath, right? And there's nothing that says that somebody who doesn't go to college isn't as equally intelligent, passionate, following their purpose as somebody who does have a 4-year degree or 5-year, 6-year degree, whatever the degrees are.
Right.
And there are people out there that do masterful things that I can't even think of, like creating a chair, building a chair. I couldn't do it. I might be able to see the chair here, but it gets lost when it comes here. And let me tell you, there's some craftsmen out there that can make some serious income. And I don't think people are aware of that also. I mean, gosh, didn't you say your brother is a master plumber?
Yes.
And I'm sure when he was 5, he wasn't thinking about being a plumber.
No.
but he does
did
make
ride on the truck when he was a little boy, and I think that sparked his interest.
There you go. There. Oh, what interests you as a child? There's another question you can put in. And all these things you can put in further down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Anna.
Not sure what your dream job is.
That's a good
There you
question. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
When I was ready to go into college, I had no idea. And that was the path that was told to me is you have to go. And I went, and 7 years later, I came out doing something completely different than what I initially went for.
Did you ever think growing up that you were going to be the head of the town of Brookfield's tourism?
Never. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. And Miranda, did you ever really think that you were going to be the kingpin, if you will, in the one that keeps the gear going? No. And I guarantee you, I didn't think I was going to be an app developer.
You can change the wording on the App Store from time to time, or no?
Yes, you can. It's really simple in Google. Google is just a matter of going in and making the change. With Apple, you have to actually republish your app. Now, rumor has it that Apple is looking to potentially change that, where they're just going to have it where you can just submit for the change and then they'll approve it. But Apple is extremely controlling, extremely. And at the same time, I kind of understand that. You know, we look at it from, we're very authentic people. We're putting out real product and we're putting out real businesses, real apps. You know, it's all very legitimate. You have no idea how much garbage is out there and people spamming. I don't get the purpose of it, but there's a lot of garbage apps out there that don't function, don't work, they're abandoned, they're misleading, they're not for the type of business that they're a front for another kind of business, and they're avoiding like illegal things. For example, and you can't even do this on Google, cannabis stores are not allowed to go on and do an app, right? Legal product, legitimate, everything. So they're doing something else to make it look like that, and then you can get to the cannabis part of it, okay? And so they're saying, you know, nope, we can't do any of that. The other thing that's kind of sad for cannabis stores is that they're not allowed to take credit cards, which is like really right, because if they could take credit cards, they could do online ordering and then it can be shipped to illegal states. Once it becomes legal in all 50 states, you will see that change, because it's because of the fact that you can't purchase cross states. So, you know, and I'm not saying good or bad on cannabis. It's got its great things, you know, but those are the rules and regulations. So Apple takes that stuff very serious, and it makes sure that your apps are 100% authentic and truly respecting the business. That's why every business has to have their own developer account now and not just be under a generic one of the developer like it did in the beginning. So, which does remind me for everybody, just check your, Apple sent out a new agreement, and that was really pointing at you, Miranda, to accept the agreement. It just came out. You're not delayed. So send it and check to make sure the agreements have been honored. Janae, I want to say Nate already did it, so you're good. Nate's the technical end of this. So.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what to do with tech stuff. So
yeah, no. I'm
a social worker. I'm not a tech.
Right. She actually runs a group home.
That's how I was talking to one of my workers.
Yep. She actually runs a group home. So, all right, we're coming up with 15 minutes left. Is there other questions? Do we want? Are we having a good idea of what we should be doing with the App Store listings?
I think so.
Okay.
And then I was going to ask you, when I do my recording for Jenna, like, I'm thinking, and you guys can tell me if I'm like way off or not, to do like maybe 3 different versions of it, because like Miranda was saying about like high school people, that's initially who I was thinking about, like the age range between 16 and like 21, 25 maybe. But my sister was like, why do you keep saying that? It's for everybody. It's for everybody. But the initial idea was for people around that age. And so I'm like, when I do my sound bites, I think I want to do one that's specifically like speaking to the high school population, because I want it to be where the juniors, like maybe the end of sophomore year, junior, senior year, where the guidance counselors start to sit down with the kids and making a plan. I want it in the guidance counselor hands so they can, like, or even in the school setting where you can pull it up and you can use Kahoot or whatever type of app or whatever to kind of bounce ideas off of the kids, to kind of get their brains to thinking like, I want to do this, or you see this make this much money, and you know, some people are really passionate about this. Like, it's a conversation. So I really wanted it to be for the high school students, but then I also know that it's people that's 25 and up that's graduating college and still don't know what they want to do. Or you have your parents or your auntie who always did this and they tell you should do this, and you like, but I don't want to do that, you know? So it's just like, it's for everybody. So I'm thinking the sound bites, I should make like 3 different versions, so we can put it up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever with different different sound bites for different populations. Do that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually agree with that. You want to hit your target audience.
Okay.
Completely. And see, this is where the chamber actually does a really good job of making sure that the messages go out there, not always for everybody, but they go out based on the target audience that they're trying to talk to, right? So for example, when we just got an email last week from a sign guy that was promoting his product via the chamber. And that is not for the people who work for corporate or their target audience is corporate, but he made it so that it was at the target audience that he wanted to talk to. And that's what's really important. So it's okay to have 3. And ladies, so you know, Jana is the one with the acting app, and she actually does voice coaching. And she will help make sure that when you are doing videos that they're entertaining, when they're voiced over. And you want to make sure that they're capturing your audience. So that's what she's training Janae on what to do. So when you are doing this, having 3 different audiences, it's fine. Now, remember this, and you got to tell Janine this, that if you are talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So the whole concept of saying our app is for everybody, it's not for everybody. I have no need for your app. I love your app. I think it's great. But at this point in my life, it's not for me. But if you talk to somebody in the older generations who is going through job transition, my stepson right now, he's sitting here asking questions of what is it that he wants to do, right? You're not going to talk to him like he's a high schooler.
Right.
And the same thing, we actually have another group that we'll be introducing you to. One of our chamber members runs a transition group for people who were in jobs and are that's over 45, I want to say is the age. Sue Gresham runs it. I don't know if you guys know that Sue is involved in this. And you're going to talk differently to those people because they've been in the job force already. So having 3 different sound bites is not a bad thing. You're still talking to people who need to figure out their career and where they want to go. But you're certainly not going to talk to the 60-year-olds or the 50-year-olds about joining the military.